Okay, Robert. We just came home. We just came home from services from Congregation B'nai Jeshurun for Rosh Hashanah services. And there were a lot of people there. And for the most part, everybody was all dressed up.
Yeah.
And you said...
I'm uncomfortable.
And you said, like, why? Why do we all have to get...
Well, what I said was, when I put this monkey suit on, was I said, I am so thankful that I don't have to do this every day.
You did say that in our bedroom this morning as he was getting dressed.
Because I cannot, I couldn't, I mean, I've done it. I've worked in the corporate world where this uniform was necessary. I think that it's ridiculous that we have to get dressed like this for certain things. I don't profess that you should dress like a Slav or anything like that, but I just feel this is just not me. Just not me. So when I have to do this, it bothers me.
Do you know why? You know, the point of dressing up? Like, what is the point of dressing up?
My mother dressed me up as a kid, and, you know, at certain times.
Why?
You know, what do you mean?
Hey, Karen. Hi, Monty. Deborah. Why did you get dressed up? There's a reason why we got dressed up.
I don't know. I never asked. I never really asked. That, you know, it's like, oh, you got to put on your, you know, suit and tie. I'm like, oh, really?
Well, so in essence, you're saying, you know, they're established societal norms.
I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, there are.
It's ridiculous.
There are. And we decided to stay in our clothes, these clothes, until we change into more comfortable clothes. So we are talking about
because this,
comfort.
You know, right. This changes everything, you know. When
no, I do believe it. So
what?
So when you said it, it kind of sparked something with me thinking about why do we get dressed the way we do in certain situations. And I was thinking about this as I was looking this up, is that someone once told me when, I remember I think being in college, and they said, or school, or why the kids shouldn't go to school even in sweatpants and sweatshirts, is because if you're dressed that way, you might behave that way. So you might behave a little more lazy. No. So you may not be as, you might, now you're thinking, what's the difference? If I can come to school or go to work or go to an event, I mean, you know, and you're saying you can deliver the same message, because in essence, that's the key. It's about communication. Our clothes are communicating something.
Yes, but if everyone, like, you know, the concept of what do they call it? Casual Friday,
Yeah,
right?
that actually, yes.
So, you know, some companies, you know, established Casual Friday where you could, you know, dress, you know, for a guy. Like, women, I don't understand. I don't understand, you know, women in the business world have it made, I think, because you can wear whatever you want, really. You know, you don't have to, you know, come summertime, right? You're in these nice summer dresses and nice and light and airy, and here we are, right? You know, the same guy in the same office has got to be dressed like this. So what's that about?
Well, you know what? I'm going to read this, okay? And you can respond. All right? So this is the one about men. For men, okay, wait. So it says...
Holly has research.
Yes, I did. It says...
God,
okay.
This is making for good video. Yeah.
This is particularly true. Right? Everyone ends up looking roughly the same with men. Your suit and tie may be different colors. Your suit may fit differently than your peers, but they look approximately the same. This is even more true of, say, black tie, where the variations are very limited and even more subtle. For men, this stems from the fact our modern business and dress attire stems from military dress.
Okay.
Listen to this. The very core of it, the essential concept, is that all the men dress the same way. Thus, clothing is neither a distraction nor does it detract from or give advantage to any particular individual. When done properly, dressing up complements your physical appearance, but mostly gets out of the way so that your personality and ideas can be at the forefront. I agree with what this says. Okay, so what it's saying is everyone's on a level playing field. Listen
So
to this.
if-
Imagine your board meeting
Yeah.
where you show up in a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Someone else, maybe your competitor for promotion, shows up wearing a bright red Hawaiian shirt, green pants, and flip-flops. The two of you, for better or for worse, are no longer on an even playing field,
Yeah.
appearance-wise. It could be that he's able to hold attention better than you are.
Okay,
Or maybe
this is ridiculous.
No,
okay,
it's not
this is ridiculous. All right,
it's not ridiculous.
you know, people make up the rules, right? You know, I worked in offices where you had, you had this dress for men, right? And what's the first thing that you do when you get into the office? You take your jacket off and you put your jacket on the back of the chair and you loosen your collar. So now you're at work in a shirt and, somewhat of a tie. Okay? So what happens then? Why when you get to the office do you take your jacket off? I think it was a time, and if you look at like shows like Daddy Father Knows Best or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The idiot would sit at the dinner table at home with a jacket and tie buttoned up. Like you're home. You're home.
Okay, but that wait.
Like what
we're
was
talking
that
about the
really a
norm.
point in time
But,
when you would come home from work?
But that
and
was
you're
their norm.
sitting at the dinner table like this?
That was the norm.
Like a schmuck?
It was the norm. People sit in judgment today. What if you have a tattoo? What if you have a tattoo? What is that communicating to others? It's communicating something. It doesn't mean that person can't deliver the same fantastic
But
idea
there
or
will
message.
be a point in time, the whatever the generation is called, right? That's their 20s to early 30s right now. Okay, we'll have a much different view. So we went into a couple of places a few months ago. Millennial media companies, let's call them, right?
Yeah.
And
But
I
their
have to
norm.
tell you,
They have a different norm.
I didn't know how to dress going into
Actually,
to
it's true.
that appointment.
You said that.
I'm like, what do I wear? Because I talked to my son who was also working in a media company for the summer. When he would leave for work, I'm like, you're in shorts and a t-shirt. And he goes, yeah, I'm a little overdressed. I'm like, what are you talking about? So we went up, when we went up to one of these similar companies, people are
Anything goes.
Anything goes. I mean,
You
and
could have
it's
been
not,
you could have been in your pajamas.
and none of those things that you just mentioned, okay, were having an advantage or a level playing
that was their
field or
uniform.
anything like that.
Wrong. That was their uniform. That
The
is decided.
uniform was anything it could be.
But that's
anything
their
you
uniform.
want.
No. So what we're saying is when we go to temple, if we go to a wedding,
Well,
if we go to
listen.
a gala, wait a second.
So-
If we go to those things, okay, there is a sign of respect, and there is
guess.
judgment. There is judgment. So it means
But
what if you go on a job interview? So how should you go on a job interview?
Depends on what the job is for. If you're going on a job interview for
For Lindsay, when Lindsay was
a
job
bartender,
Okay.
if you show up in a suit and tie like this, they're gonna go, I don't know about that.
No, it depends where you're going to be a bartender.
Well, I guess.
If you're
but-
at the Pierre Hotel in Manhattan, I guess you really should show up in a suit and tie. So there are certain. So I think it's interesting. So you would think it's pointless, but listen,
I don't think
Steve Jobs got it right. I got to
I
tell
don't
you.
think it's pointless. I think there are certain rules, okay, in society when it comes to dress that are quite a bit outdated. Simple as that.
Okay, but if you go to a
and when
board
that
meeting,
generation passes, I can't ever picture Alex working in a place where he would have to put on a suit and tie every day.
but if he was at a meeting. And you really want someone to really listen to what you have to say seriously.
Really? Your peers?
To take you
His
seriously.
peers?
So
His
we're talking.
peers?
You're talking generationally now.
Of course. Of
But
course.
but wait, and then our children, we even talked to Lindsay about this just not long ago. We're talking about how we dress, of where we go, and how we go. So part of that is your
Listen,
norm.
a perfect example. I guarantee that our friend James Orsini, right, who works for VaynerMedia,
And
he's Gary Vaynerchuk's
He's a
right-hand man.
fantastic, savvy dresser.
Absolutely, but I'll bet you he came from a different environment, okay,
Right.
at Saatchi,
Right.
right,
Well.
than he has at Vayner.
So
he
we should
has
be
had to
asking him.
modify
Hey, Lindsay.
his type of dress or anything like that. That's I'll bet you he had to modify how he would
Well,
normally do
we
it.
would have to ask him that. I think he'd be a good person to ask that, because especially the shift of, so that's where you work. But we're also talking about attending events. We went to Temple today. So there was an expectation of saying, I'm going to dress up. So it is a form of communication. It's just like what we say and how we say it.
I guess.
We make the choices
I guess.
of how we want to look and how we want to present ourselves to the world. And I think people take people more seriously. There is judgment and there is seriousness and there is tone.
But I think that is changing. I think that's changing rapidly. And, you have a generation of people, of young men who don't own a suit. That's it. Simple as that. They don't own a suit. They
may be at a disadvantage.
Maybe.
They might be at a
I
disadvantage.
don't know. It depends on who they're dealing with. I don't know. I don't know. Alex
Because the
has a
thing
couple
is,
suits
how
at
you
work,
dress is how people perceive you.
As a bartender.
How people perceive you
Right.
is how you dress. So again, there are messages that are being received, and we're not really sure what is. So how can we initiate change?
What if someone is wearing an ill-fitting suit? It's old and it's wrinkled and it's dirty.
Right.
Right? And I'm in that same meeting and I'm in a clean pair of slacks and a button-down shirt with an open collar.
And wait, what if what he's saying is a better idea than what you're saying?
Well, then we should both be naked.
But then, okay, and then we all know that that's not what we're going to do.
Okay, and then maybe he's got big stains on his tie from lunch, and I have a clean shirt on. So then what? I just think that the way we're expected to dress on certain occasions and certain places today is wildly outdated. That's just my opinion.
Well, yeah,
And we were seated today, right, in the balcony area, which is a good area because you get to see everything,
everybody,
right? But you look down, right, on everybody below, and all you see is dark black, blue, gray below you.
But it says
that's it.
There
It's
are
like
studies.
everyone's in the uniform.
There are studies that people get more respect if they wear a suit and tie. Okay, or I guess if you come a woman the way they put themselves together too, right? And you have a higher value, okay, of your contribution, which may not be true. I mean, it really is, how do we verbally communicate, and how do we, what we wear, what is that saying about ourselves? So it's very often a measure of value, a measure of worth. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll agree to disagree. I think I'm gonna wear a suit all the time. I'm just gonna wear a shirt and a tie, and that's it.
I think it's a tool. Our clothes are a tool, and we choose. Okay, because if you were to go to the Tony Awards or the Oscars, isn't there an expectation of how you should dress? I don't think Temple's any that different than going to, or a wedding. What would you do? Why is it? It is respect, for that particular celebration. And sometimes it's even dictated to us, right? When it says black tie or black tie optional.
Right, and then someone comes in a sport jacket.
But then you don't fit in.
No,
so
but then you say,
geez,
why shouldn't I wish I wore a sport jacket. Then this guy would have some company.
But I started saying before, I think Steve Jobs got it right. I'll be honest with you. Because he dressed in black from head to toe, usually how you dress, which you're known to do.
Right. What? Right.
And
so
it takes away that uniform. That was a uniform for him.
Right.
And
it was a uniform for me when I was always, because people still comment. I got a comment today that I wasn't in black.
But you listened.
All
people
black.
listened to you. Like, once they're past that, it was never about the clothes. It really was about what you were going to share in that presentation, or what that idea is, and you really were heard. But people are distracted by what you wear. But listen, women give the once over. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what's she wearing? Oh, so there is judgment. Again, it's another thing to judge. How we say what we say, how we put it all together, right? Is it a class thing? Is it a class thing? You're somewhere at a disadvantage, right? That they don't have a suit or a dress that might be appropriate,
Right.
right? So, I don't know. Appearance does matter, though. It does.
Yeah.
And I also think that if you dress, I think sometimes that if you dress more casually and comfortably, okay, which isn't so terrible, right? We like to be casual and comfortable
Yeah.
and be able to hang.
Yeah, sure.
There is, again, another piece of judgment or not being taken seriously because you're just too relaxed. You can't deliver. I'm just saying that's the perception. I'm not saying we're agreeing or disagreeing. I think it would be really great.
What do you think the purpose of
But then you have a whole world of fashion out there.
what do you think the purpose of school assemblies were when you used to have to dress up on Fridays in elementary school?
No,
You
I
remember that?
actually,
You had that?
again, it was a uniform.
Fridays
We had to wear the red,
white shirt,
a white shirt,
with a
blue.
red tie,
I had to wear blue, dark pants, and I had a red cross.
Had a
It's
red
a uniform.
tie.
It's because it was respect. Is actually no.
Yeah, but
so,
nobody got
no.
nobody.
So no one kid.
No one got that
No.
message.
It's the same thing if you're on a team. If you're on a team
Well,
and
that's
right? No, because that means you belong. Oh, you know what it says? It actually, when I was looking, think about this.
What?
Let's say you're at a wedding
Yeah.
and someone comes in
You want
that
it.
isn't part of the wedding. No, then they're like a wedding crasher. They didn't belong here.
Yeah,
That's
but what
another
if-
reason. It's
Wait,
saying
wait,
you
wait,
don't
wait.
belong
Do you really?
here.
So what you're saying is a wedding crasher is not going to be smart enough to wear the uniform of the wedding?
Maybe not. Maybe
Well,
maybe
come
not.
on, and that's-
well, again,
that's-
but wait. So what you're saying is, so there is something to be said about having a uniform. It's just like crazy. It's just really interesting to think about it.
Not that interesting.
I think it is.
Okay. Anything else before we say so long? And I can get out of these clothes?
I would take you seriously, no matter how you dress,
Thank you.
because I think you're smart,
Thank you. I am.
and I think you have a lot to share with the universe.
Yes. And now if only I could get my Bitmoji to look like me.
But I will say that I actually like to get dressed up. And
You do it well.
Thank you.
You
And
have a great wardrobe. You have a great sense of style. I
Thank
got
you.
black, you know.
Well, that's your preference.
It's easy. It's like Garanimals.
It is, and it does make it easy, and I think that that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that is cool.
Yeah. Sometimes I think like when I wear like the same thing all the time, people think it's like the same clothes. But I have like, 7,
Of that.
of
whatever
black
that is.
polo shirts, and they're always in rotation, Just in case anyone's wondering. I wanted to set the record straight.
Right. So to me, it's really just about the association.
Yep.
And I don't think it's pointless to get dressed up because I think that there is a collective expectation of how you should dress. And you know what? It does start when you're very small.
Mm-hmm.
You just said it. I'm coming full circle. You did say your mother dressed you that way.
So do you think there were a lot of kids there today? Do you think the kids were dressed
Oh my
appropriately?
goodness. First of all, they look like they were from Park Avenue in Manhattan, these children. They look like they were
What does
little,
that mean?
talk about
Stressed?
little designer clothing.
Oh,
Stressed?
like, growing up in Manhattan kind of thing.
Who's stressed?
All right, whatever. Go ahead.
No, I was looking. The outfits were like beautiful. They looked so beautiful. And by the way, they're not going to be fitting in them very long, right? They're going to have to get something new for the next special time.
Yeah.
But
Just keep having kids, so you always have kids moving into the.
I
size
just
clothes.
think so. Sometimes that it's in certain communities and or events, it is about a fashion show. But the children. But if you're brought up that way, I was brought up. My mother did love to dress me up and put me in pretty dresses. What?
It just sounds so funny.
Why?
Like you're a doll or something.
Actually, that is correct. That's so funny.
It's not that funny.
No, it is. Actually, I think my mother liked to dress me like a doll.
So why should you get a Barbie or something?
She had a living Barbie. I like getting dressed up. I don't think it's pointless. I do think it is conveying a message. I think it's
Well, I
a
should
sense
hope
of
so.
self.
You have
I think
so
it's-
many clothes.
Talks about personality. I like it. But I can understand men feeling when you don't. I think women probably get more dressed in a dress, either casual or fancier dress, more often than most men are in suits. And I also do think it depends on your lifestyle. I mean, you really are. We work from home. Most of the time, you could be in your jeans and a t-shirt and you know, and relax.
What if I had a fedora?
But maybe if you, do you think you would be more productive if you wore a suit
Oh,
every day?
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna try that for a week. I'm gonna wear a suit every day.
Well, I think,
And you know what I'm
and
gonna
what about
do?
going on an interview? Okay,
You know what I'm gonna
see,
do to make it as authentic as possible? I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. I'm gonna walk to the bus. I'm gonna get on a bus. I'm gonna get on that bus for half an hour. I'm gonna get off, get on another bus coming back the same way, walk back here, so I feel like I commuted. How's that? Do you think I'll be more productive that way?
So do you think, in closing, who would be the person,
Waiting for that.
who could be the person to send out the message
Yeah.
to the world
Okay. About what?
that as long as they look neat and clean,
Yes.
right, hygiene-wise, right?
Yes.
Neat and clean,
Yes.
not messy.
Right.
Who can give that message to the world that you can dress any way you want, wherever you want, whenever you want?
Well, that's not what I'm professing.
Oh, okay.
I think you should still look neat and clean.
So what would you
and
so do you think
today I would have
what-
been. I think I should have been able to wear slacks and a collared shirt, clean collared shirt of
Hey, Jason.
somewhat muted color.
Hey, Amy.
And it's
But allowed.
80 degrees
I'm saying
out.
allowed. I'm saying allowed.
Okay.
I'm saying
and
allowed.
To
Do you
say,
think-
and I didn't park in the lot. I parked a few blocks away, and we had to walk uphill, and I'm schwitzing a little bit, and I'm in a suit and tie in the sun, you know, and it's like, this is fun. This is really a lot of
Well,
fun.
this live video was brought to you today because of Robert's upset from the moment he had to put on
This
the
is brought
suit.
to you by Sears and Roebuck, where America shops, where my mother used to buy all my clothes in the Husky department.
Robert.
Wrangler jeans.
So do you?
Husky.
So I'm curious. So any of you that go to Temple, would it have been okay if Robert wore slacks?
Slacks.
And
I would have been
and a
probably in all
shirt?
black. I would have been black slacks and a black shirt of some kind. Black collared, clean, smelling nice collared shirt.
So I think I think you should go and see next time. I think show an experiment. Will you? Would you do that? Would you be as bold to do that?
I guess. What are they going to do?
I'm curious. You know what?
But what if
do
I
you,
piss
do
God
you
off?
care?
What if
Do you-
God is the one that really
do you think
cares,
people-
and then I don't get inscribed in the book of life?
So really, and this is another
I'm screwed.
Another topic would be
And all I had to do was get dressed, put on my suit.
No.
Should I just shut up and put the suit and tie on?
no. When you talk about being taken seriously or being sit in judgment, and we're going to come back. This will be a topic. Do you really care what people think? That's think about that. And when we come on, I want to know what you all think about. Do you care? What do you care what people think? Have a great afternoon.
And Happy New Year. If that's what you're celebrating.